Hey guys, what is up? Death Metal Bard here, and this is the playtest packet for Project Black Flag from Kobold Press. You can find it on their website, so you can kind of download it and check it out yourself. I've kind of looked it over, not very intensively, but I've kind of looked it over, and I'm a little disappointed actually with some of the material for it. Let's just pop over and let's see what it has here. It is about 12 pages, which is, again, a little, See, this is how, how to use your packet. This is if you'd like to make a 5e character of equivalent power to blah, blah, blah. Simply give the 5e character a feat that the character would meet the prerequisites for at first level. And they're changing this to like lineage and heritage. Seems very, very basic material. The fact that they're going into what is the core fantasy role-playing game, I don't think you really need to have that. At the very least, you don't need to make something that's roughly a page. You just need to say, this is a role-playing game. You roll dice. That's it. That's all you need to really say, really. But, again, and the fact that they're going into the whole dice thing, I'm like, I don't know if you really need that for a lot of things. Like, this is, again, like, I don't think you really need, like, a core fantasy stuff. But anyway, let's go into character creation. Character creation is, again, this seems very, very bare bones, very basic. It's make a character concept, choose the classes. Then you have all this stuff. They have a point buy, which is okay, I guess. A lot of people don't like point buys. I think point buys only really work if you're doing something online, just as a means of automation. But frankly, you don't even need a point buy for a lot of that stuff, because point buys are pretty average, I would say. But standard arrays are probably the best, I think, for a lot of this stuff. But here we go. Lineage and heritage. Here you choose, that's where you choose like your race. So I think if we go down, then you have background, blanks, blah, blah, blah. Lineage and heritage. You have elements of the heritage. They have alignments. So here they have dwarf. And then they have the little heritage traits. So you could be like a Fireforge dwarf, for example. Or you could be like a stone dwarf. So these are I would say, very basic kind of stories. Cloud heritage, I think, is interesting. I think this is mostly, like their high elf names, which that's not like terrible. Like cloud elves sounds kind of cool. Then you have your human, which is nomadic and cosmopolitan, which again seems very, very bare bones. And this is your little things here. I do like adventuring motivation. I think that's something that works really well for these types of things. And it's something that I would probably implement as well in my own games. Because I think a lot of people don't think about like adventuring motivations for like their background or their character. These are, little things here that you can get as feats, but as you can tell, it's a little small. Like, there's nothing really here kind of core class related. It's mostly just the three races so far, and they're the most basic races that you can have. Dwarf, elf, and human. So I don't know how they expect people to kind of play test the classes and the combat and whatever, if you will, if they don't give them that. Like, it's fine that you want to have stuff that's predominantly core, or rather, you want to have something that is more, kind of very, very basic for character creation. That's fine. But if you don't give people anything to kind of work with class class related, how are people supposed to play and really get into the meat of your system. Whereas with 13th Age, I'm going to just pop that up relatively quickly, I hope anyway. So that way people can kind of see what I'm talking about when it comes to you want to have something that's going to have a lot of meat on the bones. And as you can see here, this is the 13th Age 2E playtest. This is the alpha draft. And I don't know, you probably can't read it, but this thing is right there, 316 pages. This is practically a book even of itself. So the fact that, and this covers a bunch of stuff. This covers not only the changes that they've made to the core races, but they call them kin now, and you get a choice between 3 different kin powers. They have been working on revamping the core classes. They haven't gotten through all of them. So right now it's just the Barbarian, the Fighter, the Paladin, the Ranger, and the Cleric, and the Wizard. So basically you have enough, and again, this is alpha draft playtest material. So some of the stuff that they have there is going to change. And if you are interested in trying this, in trying it out, I would definitely say to contact Rob Hesu. I believe if you go to the Kobold Press website and you look up Playtest 2E Playtest, you can find the email to email Rob and ask for a copy so you can check it out. And again, look at this in comparison. Let's just pop up again. Look at the comparison to that and Black Flag. 12 pages. Now, maybe I'm a little bit biased. I don't know how long Pelgrane has been working on the 13th Age 2nd edition stuff. I'm assuming they probably had a little bit more time to kind of work on it, so that's probably why there's probably more. And maybe, Kobold Press was kind of doing this on the back burner since, they were hoping that, the OGL would still be going strong, so that way they could just keep working on the stuff that they want to do, and then they could be like, oh, let's make a new system now. We kind of gotten practice. We kind of know what we're doing. Let's make our own system, and we'll just make it, 5e compatible. But then, the whole OGL debate, and then them being like, we kind of need to get out in front of this, so let's release Black Flag a little early, and get people hyped up. And then people got hyped up, and they're like, oh, we need to actually show them stuff. And so they're releasing it. Maybe they're releasing it bit by bit just to generate that hype. But in my personal opinion, if you don't have, at the very least, core classes, even if it's just like 3 classes, like a OSR, have a fighter, have a wizard, and have like a ranger or a cleric, something that people can like actually make characters with and test out that way, so they can understand, hey, this is how the barbarian or the fighter, this is how they're going to be in Black Flag. This is how they're different from a 5e version. So people can be like, oh, okay, so that way they can say, oh, that's kind of cool, or oh, that's not as cool as I thought it would be. You need to give us something. And that's the core premise here. Maybe I'm kind of rambling on that, but to me, that's the core premise. You need to give us something that people are going to actively work with, because people want to try your system, Kobold Press. Now, I don't like 5e all that much, but I do want Black Flag to, do good. I want them to actually succeed, because I like Kobold Press's materials. I do think that they write a lot of really good stuff. And I do want them to make their own system that feels exciting. And that's the core of what I want. So, Kobold Press, try and, hopefully they'll release some more stuff soon so people can actually create characters, do some adventures, show some of your monsters, get people hyped up and get people actually playing your game, because that is how you're going to get all that support for Black Flag and your core role-playing system that you want to implement. Get people playing. That is the long and the short of this situation. Anyway, I'm Death Metal Bard. Thank you for watching this quick little video. I guess it wasn't really that quick since it's been a week since this has come out, but I kind of wanted to, kind of look it over and give a basic premise of it. Anyway, that's it. Rock on.